Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and we definitely got something obscure for you today, unless you're really in the know, which I would like to think that I am. You probably haven't really encountered much in the way of the number 57 Armored Puppet series. These have been going pretty steady for a while now. The earlier releases were not bad, they were reasonably priced, and that's one of the big pluses from this line, is everything is reasonably priced. And it's interesting because, while it is a Chinese-developed kit, as far as I know, and as far as I can recall, you're going to see that things are starting to become trilingual in the fact that we have Japanese packaging as well as English. I've actually encountered these in Japan, which was kind of a surprise to see, but, you know, them being the purveyors of plastic model kits of all shapes and sizes isn't the most surprising. So these are a little on the smaller side. They're closer to the Hexa figure size than, say, you know, the typical 1/144th Gundam. But one of the things that's really cool about the armored puppets from number 57 is that they are very, very modular and customizable in what you do with them. So this is Esis. I mean, obviously I'm assuming it's supposed to be Isis, but, you know, the goddess, not the bad guys. But anyway, you can see she's got her basic form as like a priestess mode, and then we've got a sarcophagus, which actually transforms into a sphinx, which actually transforms into a whole, you know, four-legged centaur thing, and then we've got all kinds of various weaponry for her as well. And if it's anything like the other figures, it's probably going to be quite compatible with everything else. And they always have these nice little display stands as well. So when I say it's a kit, I'm not kidding, it's a kit. It is quite involved. Oh, these are actually in a specific scale, 1/24th. Okay. I don't remember them having color instructions. I remember, like, one of the early ones I built, like the Chinese Knight Yuan one, you had to trim his hands to actually allow it to hold stuff, which was kind of annoying. You'll notice there are quite a few hand options available. That's always kind of cool to see. I mean, they really do remind me of Hexa stuff to the point that I'm kind of curious if they're actually compatible with each other. Instructions look pretty complex in terms of just things that need to be done. You can see here she does include that throne, which is kind of cool to see, as well as the whole display base. Those display bases actually can interlock with each other as well. You've got a few of them. It's kind of fun to put them all together, and I'll see if I can drag some of mine out. I should have a few. I don't know where they are. They might be at work. I have a few that I've done videos on that I haven't even posted, so maybe I should put those up soon too. So you can see here, again, lots of variety in terms of things that come with it. We've got various staves, axes, blades. That's kind of neat to see, and I'm sure the Sphinx can use all that too. I'm not sure what the wire's for. Maybe the tail. Some colored pieces. Okay. Not even sure what this is. This is like to make a phoenix thing? I don't know. Was this included with the original stuff, or is it totally different? Beats me. Looks like most of our throne. I haven't seen any repeats of that stuff either. We're really just... There's a lot of stuff here. These are repeats. I think these are all parts to help modify the base. Is quite a bit of stuff. So we have the base pieces, the wall and the floor. I'm not even sure. Various bits. An assortment of inner parts for the core body. Same here. I'm going to assume, because I know they've made a few female figures at this point, that they have a similar core body. There was like a maid robot one. They've done a ninja girl. There's another, like, a kind of Miko priestess, shrine maiden one coming. See here the various hands. I want to say they don't feel like the soft rubber from before. Interesting. I'll have to cut those open and find out. But, you know, for the price, most of these, I've actually encountered a few of these in the wild, in the States, for under 30 bucks, which I feel like for the amount of content in here, I mean, it's a pretty hefty amount of kit here. While it may be on the smaller side, I feel like you do get a lot of bang for your buck, and especially if you have more than one of these, you're going to have a lot of fun messing around with. I kind of comparable would be like the 30-minute missions figures. I'll have to drag some of those out. I should have some finished ones around here somewhere. So let me get her built, and I will do the best I can. I know I had a hard time with some of the early ones, and hopefully that's not the case with these. And we'll see how everything turns out. So hopefully it's good. Sit tight. All right, Isis is all ready here and put together. And I gotta say, despite having some tiny little parts to work with, and I'm not kidding on that at all. You can see she's quite a small figure in the end. She's very well articulated. And just the amount of options and variety of things you can do with this figure are really cool. Case in point, I forget which way is which. It could be either, it doesn't matter. All of the Armored Puppet number 57 figures have these, as far as I know at least, and as far as I've seen, always include these little display stands that can connect together. But, you know, we've got our little throne for Isis there to sit on. And the figure itself, really articulated. That's going to give her... This thing has been giving me the hardest time getting that wire to cooperate in there. But the variety of weapons, and then much like the old Microman figures, and I wish I had one just to compare in size, they all have these connection points of various sizes that can then, you know, be used to modify and create new designs. Can I even... So if you want to make your own weird weapons, or even the scenery itself, or take all the scenery apart and turn it into something else, it's totally customizable, which is really kind of fun to play with. Dagger's got the blade hidden in there. I mean, the axe has the dagger hidden in... I don't know what I'm saying. And we didn't even talk about the little sarcophagi sphinx that comes along with her. Ready to give it a good pet. And I don't even know where I put all her extra hands now. But... they're really just neat little figures. And these types of figures, and there's quite a few now with the whole Armored Puppet lineup, they have larger ones as well. And one of these days, like I know they have the Three Bear version with a, you know, powered armor with a grizzly bear head, a panda bear, and of course Ice Bear. These little ball-jointed sockets in the front are probably the most delicate and hard to get to stay in where they need to. Oh, and I forgot about her backpack. That's actually a bird. Technically, this is part of her back, but it makes for a good stand for the backpack to pretend to land on and have some feet. So if you're curious how big these figures are, I have another one of the Armored Puppets here. This is the UN, kind of a more traditional Chinese suit of armored guy. Now this one was kind of funky in that he had a ridiculous amount of parts that just all can form various weapons. There's no like set in stone patterns. There's shields. I mean, you can make guns. I can turn it into like giant guns, just all kinds of fun, bizarre stuff. And all these pieces are totally compatible with the other parts. If you want to make even weirder concoctions and then paint it all up, if that was something you were inclined to do. This guy was kind of funky though in that he had to have his hands actually cut to be able to accommodate the weapons. I did not have that issue with Isis. Now, if you're really curious, which I was, is just how well do these stack up in comparison to the Hexa models from Kotobukiya. And you can see, size-wise, they're really, really comfortable with each other. Let's see, where did like that dagger go? The connection ports are not the same. At least to my knowledge. They could be, and I just haven't played around with it enough. But, you know, if you wanted to have figures of a similar size and style, I think these Armored Puppets are going to go in together quite well. You know, for the price, they're somewhat comparable to the Hexa, but I feel like you get a lot more bang for your individual buck in terms of what's in these kits. You know, the Hexa gears tend to be very bare bones. You have to buy the big fancy expansion sets and armored vehicles and whatnot if you really want to get the full potential out of them, but some of them are just really cool looking models. Here you can see these in comparison to a 1/144th Gundam with one of Bandai's 30-minute sisters, so they are on the smaller scale of things. I'm looking for my usual suspects, but they're not that small, okay? If you're thinking like tabletop gaming standard 25mm, 30mm, not that small, but they're small. Definitely smaller than a 1/144th Gundam. Kind of closer in size to the, what is it, the Yokohama Gundam base figures they give out there. One day I'll do a video on this guy. It's a fun little kit. Anyway, just, again, sheer variety. Number 57, Armored Puppet. If you guys haven't had a chance to check them out, they are quite labor-intensive, just getting all those little things pushed and smushed together. But I feel like once you've got it all dealt with, you've got the really solid core of a good-looking model. Color separation's nice. Interesting gimmicks, interesting designs, and, again, very unique subject matter. Sure, they've got the typical, you know, samurai robots, ninja girls, but they've got, like, dinosaur fossil robots. They've got one that I can't wait to get because I already ordered it, in fact. It's a fish tank in a giant mech suit. There's armored frogs, armored sharks, just weird stuff. The bears I mentioned, there's a lot. And, you know, all of them have their own unique variety and options and custom parts for them. And again, since everything fits these connection points that they use, you're going to have the opportunity to goof around and play with, you know, all of the various compatible weapons as well. So if that's something that sounds of interest to you, I absolutely encourage you to seek out some of this stuff. You know, if we take this thing apart, you can absolutely use these as wings on our Sphinx friend there, probably. You can change him into a sarcophagi, but it's not like he's going to do much in that form, so I'd much rather have him in his animalistic mode. And so that about sums it up. Fun stuff. Just be prepared for small, delicate parts that are going to take some time and very bright lighting to make sure you don't lose. And with that said, then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.